my view is that Dajjal is at work in coronavirus. The one who wants to rule the world from Jerusalem. You should all be sending monitors, people who could go to Beijing, to monitor how the Chinese government is dealing with this problem. How can they contain it? See how the Chinese government is operating. Check to see how the World Health Organization is responding to it. Because tomorrow, after the trial runs are over, tomorrow the plague is going to hit the Arab world. In Akhir, zaman, when the last stage of history comes, Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam said it, and they know it. It was the Ghazwat Tabuk, the war of Tabuk. And he was sitting in a leather tent. This is a hadith of Sahih Bukhari. And he said, count 6 things before the end of the world, the Sa'ah. And amongst the 6 is, let me get it for you. He said, there will be a plague. يَأْخُذُ فِيكُمْ كَنُعَاسِ الْغَنَمِ. There will be a plague, meaning an epidemic. And it will kill you in large numbers the way it kills sheep. This is what he said. This is one of his prophecies. So Akhir zaman is a time when there will be epidemics, plagues. The word which used to be used long ago was plague, but nobody uses that term anymore. Now they use the term epidemic instead of plague. And in the epidemic today we have the coronavirus, which has just attacked China. And my view is that Dajjal is at work in coronavirus, the one who wants to rule the world from Jerusalem. So he has to have a Pax Judaica, which will replace Pax Americana, the way Pax Americana replaced Pax Britannica. You know, the three. Pax Britannica, Pax Americana, Pax Judaica, so that Israel can rule the world. And Allah speaks of this in Surah Al-Mursalat. And when we interpret the Quran, only Allah can confirm that it is correct. But we must make the effort to interpret. Don't be afraid. Have some backbone. Intaliku ba'adawuzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Intaliku ila zillin dhi thalasi shab. Proceed now to that shadow which will come upon the world. A shadow which will have 3 parts. And my opinion, and Allah knows best, these are the 3 parts. In order for a Pax Judaica to replace Pax Americana, in order for Israel to become the ruling state in the world, the population of Arabs, this is Muslim and Christian Arabs, which surround Israel, has to be substantially reduced. You cannot reduce that population substantially through warfare, because you'll get a very bad name. You can use warfare to take control of territory, which is what Israel is going to do. But in order to substantially reduce the population and not be blamed for it, you need something called biological warfare. This is what is happening today. They are using the coronavirus, in my opinion, it is a trial run. And they're using it with the most populous nation in the world, the Chinese. And they're using it to see how China will respond to control it, and how the World Health Organization in Geneva will respond to control it. And so they are monitoring the coronavirus, exquisite monitoring going on at this time. Those who want to rule the world from Jerusalem. That's what they're doing while this corona, of course, they're the ones who planted it in the first place. I have no doubt about that. Dajjal uses Gog and Magog to commit facade, spread facade all over the world. And so the coronavirus has to be located in biological warfare in Akhir zaman. That is my statement. How do we respond? I don't know how many people will die. That's not important to me. What is important to me is to see how does the Chinese government deal with this problem. We know that our Prophet said, Allah's blessings be upon him 1400 years ago. He said, when a plague takes place, if you are located in that place where the plague is spreading, do not leave. And if you are outside, do not enter. It's called quarantine. And he said this 1400 years ago, quarantine. And now the world has picked up that same system of quarantine. But if you are coming back to Trinidad from China, if they allow you to enter, they'll put you in quarantine and check to see whether or not you have the virus before they allow you to enter into the population. The second thing that is important for us is that to recognize that the Arabs are going to be wiped out by plague. Our Prophet ﷺ has spoken, and I've just given you the hadith from Sahih Bukhari about Mutan, a plague which will kill you the way sheep are killed. This is one of the six that he mentioned, 6 things, the hadith, which is at the time of the Ghazwat Tabuk. So the Arabs are the ones who have to be most concerned about coronavirus. And that is that every Arab government, Algeria, Mauritania, Morocco, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, Iraq, Syria, Jordan, Yemen, the whole of the Arab, Jaziratul Arab, you should all be sending monitors, people who can go to Beijing, to monitor how the Chinese government is dealing with this problem. How can they contain it? See how the Chinese government is operating, and learn from what they're doing, their mistakes, and will they correct things. Check to see how the World Health Organization is responding to it. Because tomorrow, after the trial runs are over, tomorrow the plague is going to hit the Arab world. And they will want to ensure that you are not prepared for it, and that huge numbers of Arabs will die as prophesied by the Prophet ﷺ. And so for the whole world of Islam, yes, it is important. But coronavirus is far, far more important for the Arab world, because this is Akhir zaman. And in Akhir zaman, there is a prophecy of a virus attack on the Arab world, which will kill huge numbers of Arabs. What else can we do to protect ourselves from virus and from these dangers of Akhir zaman? And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, بَعْدَ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ وَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ, and when you recite the Quran. وَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ, Quran means a recitation. So when you recite that recitation, جَعَلْنَا بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ حِجَابًا مَسْتُورًا. We will place a hijab which will separate you from that world which rejects belief in the hereafter, which is the modern Western world and the secularized world of today. So one of the ways in which you can protect yourself from the coronavirus and from the other dangers of Akhir zaman is to recite the Quran from cover to cover, once a month, every day, one juz a day, and to recite it the way that Allah recited it. This is our comment